Hello everyone and welcome back to Round 12 of the F1 24 My Team Career Mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for our home race in Silverstone. Yes, obviously if you missed out on the video that went live from Saturday from the Austrian Grand Prix, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. Of course, we took yesterday off with the IRL Formula 1 race from Montreal, and what a race it was, of course, from Canada. Hopefully, we can try and see a dramatic race like that this weekend as well. But yeah, Ayumu Iwasa has been signed to the team for the rest of the year, so we're going to be looking to try and continue boosting our teammates' performance as best as we can. There you can see he's currently 72 rated, so we're going to try and spend more money when we can on facility upgrades there to try and continue improving his skills within the team. I really do feel he's going to be a worthwhile investment down the line, and it's certainly going to make things very interesting as well in this series. There's another new upgrade going on to the car. Of course, obviously,
increase our acclaim, more potential partners become willing to work with us. We can now approach an additional sponsor from the corporate tab.
Well, there we go. We can get another sponsor within the team as well. Looks like we've already done both of those. So actually, it looks like it's extended up to 50 levels this year, which is quite a cool little feature as well. But clearly, they haven't updated kind of when that member of staff tells you about it as well. There, you can see vehicle performance is pretty much now even with Kick Sauber. We've got 2 more chassis upgrade in the works as well. But yeah, let's head out then here to the British Grand Prix.
It might not be race day yet, but you wouldn't know it from looking at the stands. The fans are out in force. It's practice time here at Silverstone.
Well, always nice to return to beautiful sunny Silverstone, and sunny it is meant to remain throughout the entirety of the weekend, of course. The last time I raced here, back in the driver career mode, we learnt that tyre management is going to be a little bit more difficult to try and keep control of, a bit like Barcelona a few rounds ago. Let's try and see if we can get closer and closer to that purple to get towards the end of the lap. You know, you kind of have got to go for these cheesy strats still inside the F1 game. Is that the final corner? Up towards the line? Not quite. The amount of grip you have around a track like Silverstone inside F1 24 is absolutely insane. I know a lot of people have said that obviously now with the new update, it's a little bit more difficult. With the setup I've got on, I certainly wouldn't say so. It was down a couple of gears, though, through the exit of Maggots and Beckett's. Say we're almost a second up again, so we're picking up some good scores so far this weekend. Rounding our way then through the final turn, it is going to be an easy purple once more. I'll see you guys in qualifying.
A one-time airfield fully owned by cars in this era. One of the finest ribbons of racetrack anywhere on Earth. It's high speed, it's dramatic, it's Silverstone.
And as we make our way then into qualifying, if you missed out on the driver career mode video we did earlier on, I mentioned that there seems to be a bit of a weird glitch where the AI now don't use overtake in qualifying. So we aren't going to do this. We are going to do the same as them. So there's going to be no more overtake mode in qualifying until it's fixed. So we had a bit of a rude awakening in Mexico when I realised actually there my 1 lap pace wasn't as good as I thought it was inside this game. But hopefully here at Silverstone we can try and get a good showing on the board anyways. We try and make our way through the loop. Of course, a lot of hometown support this weekend. Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris, George Russell, all Formula 1 Grand Prix winners. And me. The old turn 1 absolutely flick it in 8th gear, 170 miles an hour, the lowest speed you go through that complex of corners. And how's the car going to handle through Maggots and Beckett's then down 2 gears on the way in? Can I try and leave it in 6th gear to launch the car on the exit? We just about can. Nudge a wheel out on the grass. We're 1/4 of a second up on Nico Hülkenberg at the moment. So although Iwasa definitely is still struggling, we should hopefully have some pace to beat out a few AI here. There's also definitely a few tenths left on the table as well. There's just a couple more corners to go. Oh, try and get somewhere near the apex. Horribly off camber through there as well. But out of the final corner, avoid the big curve. It is going to be a 28.5. Puts us P13. I'm happy with that. Getting ready then to start our last lap in anger here from Silverstone. Again, there is very, very few places in Formula 1 where getting a lap hooked up feels as good as it does around here. Monaco, Spa, probably the 2 I can think of, maybe Qatar as well, but I haven't driven there yet inside F1 24 in any series. Drove it. It was actually the first track I ever drove, though, inside F1 24. Fun fact. as well there. But let's try and navigate our way through the first couple of corners. Another 10th up through the loop. This is critical. I'd love to try and get us down towards the 27s. It is so tightly bunched between everybody, though, that a 10th of a second could make all the difference as we find the apex this time around through there. That's going to find us another little pocket of time. Lose a little bit on the exit of Luffield, but then we can carry the speed off of the corner. The time, I mean, well, we're just watching the delta ebb and flow early on this lap. We're going to leave it in 7th gear this time to hopefully give us a bit of a kick off the corner, which it does. You can see they're again creeping up now, half a second up on my previous lap time. So just finding more and more time as the lap unfolds. There are a little bit of hesitation to try and tip the car through the exit of Maggots and Beckett's, but still finding more as we'll get the car back over to the left-hand side. Wave to the crowd around this venue. I would like to believe are cheering us on as well. Just a handful of corners to go, though. A little bit of mistake there. First real one of the lap. Can we claw back the time there as we get right up to the sausage curb on the entry and on the exit? Oh, running a little bit wide over the curbing. That's going to compromise us slightly, but up to the line, it is a 28 flat, and we go P8. Carlos Sainz then, of course, the venue where he took his very first Formula 1 win a couple of years ago. He lines up on pole today, then ahead of Oscar Piastri and Max Verstappen. His teammate Charles Leclerc in P4 there. P8 for us, though, only 4 tenths away. I'm very happy with. Owasa definitely struggled towards the end there, the only driver not to go sub 1 minute 29. But he's not too far away from those kick salvers. So, you know, when you kind of compare their performance and their driver rating, he's not doing too badly.
The home of British motorsport and the birthplace of the Formula One World Championship. It's race day here at Silverstone, and it's time for the British Grand Prix. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of Silverstone Circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula One. It's been reinvented over the years, with Turn 1 now the fast right-hander of Abbey, but the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Russell, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Mr. Monaco, Albon, Perez, Magnussen, Hamilton, Ocon, Gasly, Stroll, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Ricciardo, Sargent, Joe, Bottas, and Ayumu Iwasa. That's it then. It's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
Right, let's see if we can push for another points finish in this race. Good luck.
Well, we've scored points, I believe, 4 of the last 5 Grand Prix weekends. It was only Barcelona where we missed out. And okay, team want us to go very, very aggressive on the tyre strategy here. That's going to be interesting to see how the soft compound tyres hang on, because, yeah, I'm not so sure they're going to be able to do as well as the team are anticipating, but we've had a really good run of form in recent races, and especially here at home, I would love for that to continue. Alonso and Albon alongside us. It is 5 red lights here at Silverstone, and it is going to be the 5 red lights, and away we go. Oh, big chunk of wheel spin as we try and get the car into 2nd gear. Lando Norris doesn't do very well, though. Oh, down into turn 1 as we almost go straight into the back of the McLaren man there. Kevin Magnussen seems to have made up some places off the start. He's up to P9, maybe P10. Oh, easy, easy, easy. Don't end up on the grass. Luckily, on this year's game, we got a little bit more grip, as Magnussen will say thank you very much. That could have been an absolute disaster for us, but only losing 1 place. I won't complain about too much then as we make our way down the Wellington Straight. Yeah, everyone, of course, needs to try and settle into a rhythm nice and early on. As there goes Oscar Piastri around the outside of Carlos Sainz then for the lead of the GP. Of course, we've got so many Brits now in Formula 1, but still our top 4, none of which are British drivers there. As side by side, maybe into the old turn 1. I think Carlos Sainz has completed the move, though, as Oscar Piastri will try and hang on with him there. I can't get over how good Magnussen's done, as they're still side by side. I think that was George Russell bouncing over the curb through Blackens and Beckett's on lap 1. So everyone trying to make up places.
Okay, now stay alert for threats around you.
Hamilton's on the move as well, already up to P11 then, so I think they're 2 and 3 wide further up the road, but a pretty chaotic lap 1. I guess we've just got to see what Magnussen's pace is like and whether we're going to be able to capitalise. Leclerc and Fernando Alonso side by side back through the loop. It's only lap 2 and already people are fighting like it's the final lap of the Grand Prix as we try to look the long way around Magnussen. Definitely not able to do anything there, but yeah, definitely Leclerc and Fernando. This battle is starting to slow up everyone behind them, so immediately we're going to go on the offensive. Lando Norris has the same idea around the outside of 1, but he can't make it. Alonso senses opportunity and gets back between them as Magnussen and myself still fighting behind. Around the outside will go of Kevin Magnussen on the exit of Luffield, I believe. And the Dane is not giving up on it. To the outside he'll go. I'll hang on into the next corner. Really compromised line though. And I go and back us both up. Oh, here we go again. Alonso down the inside of Charles Leclerc. That time around there is definitely some contact made. So Alonso's going to try and hook it up the long way. Charles Leclerc desperately trying to just squeeze him out. But you can't do that to Fernando Alonso. He is very, very wise and knows where to position a Formula 1 car. Here goes Lando Norris to the inside of Leclerc. So they are not giving up with it early on. Every position counts there as Norris gets slowed down. We're now going to try and look past the McLaren driver, which we will hopefully pull off. We turn into an apex and basically put it on him to back out of it, which he does. I mean, this is the thing with Silverstone on this year's game, where the DRS is so potent. Racing here is frantic. Oh no, what's happened up the road? I can see about 3 cars went off there, huge plumes of smoke everywhere. And I think Verstappen has made an error. Carlos Sainz has broken free. And George Russell now into P2. Oh, and there you go. Oscar Piastri locks up as well. Alonso has to check up behind him. Are we going to be able to try and find a way around Charles Leclerc? Oh, we thought we were just about alongside there. Leclerc felt otherwise. Oh, not another one. Carlos Sainz now is locked up down at the final couple of corners. That's becoming a bit of a problem, I feel like, at the moment. He shouldn't be locking up that much every single time, surely. Oh, Oscar Piastri, another lockup. What is this? How many lockups are the AI going to have? And Charles Leclerc there, wrong place at the wrong time. Well, make a move past the Monegasque driver. Yeah, it's definitely too much, isn't it? The amount of lockups the AI have now. I mean, Formula 1 drivers, you certainly don't see that most weekends. But yeah, George Russell, though, to the lead of the Grand Prix. So just like we saw in Montreal, it is Russell versus Verstappen. Well, if there's one thing I'm learning so far from this Grand Prix is that we absolutely do not have the pace to belong here. It's just all by the AI making errors and slipstreaming each other everywhere. We're just trying to hang on. I think the same can be said for Kevin Magnussen. As here, we've got Lando and Lewis not far behind. Do I play a little bit of pale trick today? I don't know. I think, you know, we want to try and compete for our own big result here. But say, we've got to be smart. Being smart is also accepting when you've had a terrible run out onto the hangar straight. They're 3 wide with Norris and Leclerc. And that's not a fight I want to get too involved in. So we've got more yellows out. Oh, we're running horribly wide on the exit, the corner there as well. Hamilton unable to make anything happen, though. I think that's an Aston Martin. That is going to be Lance Stroll out of the British Grand Prix. And Aston Martin in their home race, not what they would have wanted.
8 by 12.0 seconds.
Ayumu, staggeringly, is not last here. He's ahead of a Kick-Sauer and a Williams. Oh, here we go. Leclerc, Norris, again, side by side. Down in towards Sector 2. Again, the AI just will get side by side there and then continue to cost each other bags of time. It's helping me because, of course, it's the only way we seem to be able to sticking with them. As Leclerc, again, tucked back in, immediately ducks back out of the slipstream. Are we going to see Leclerc lose out, though, as we go up through... I mean, tell you what, if you're a fan that's paid for a ticket here, you are watching the race of the century at the moment. It is just non-stop action. But almost into the back of Norris there. Are we going to see him get another run, though, on Leclerc down the back straight? We're going to try and do the same thing. It's got to be careful with our battery management, though. Here goes Norris to the outside of Charlie. Is he going to be able to hook it up? Yes. Well, I'm happy with the way we've been able to hang on to the tyres so far this race. That's been really, really important. Despite absolutely taking everything out of the soft compound every single lap we can. I think that's also been a great help in the way we've been able to keep up with everybody else. There is all contact. Hamilton trying a little bit of a touring car style bump there. Just wanted to try and get underneath me and unsettle me. But it's not long before we box. Oh, that's not good. Tyre wear warning lights already on and we're only on lap 10. So obviously the team wanted us to go to the end of lap 12. We might have to box one lap early. There's getting a few more stutters again on this game. Not too sure what that's about. Here comes Lewis Hamilton though. Thinks about it around the outside. Can't quite slow it up. Where? What? How on earth has Lewis Hamilton just done that?
That's us down a place.
Where did the AI find grip out there? That is ridiculous. Silverstone has not often been a place where the undercut works very well inside the F1 games, but I guess today we're going to have to try it anyway. Leclerc and Norris still side by side a little bit further up, but into the pits will come at the end of lap 11. Doesn't look like anybody else is going to be joining me, as we've got to remember just how late now the speed line is. There we go, pretty much spot on there. So I think we saw Hamilton lock up down at the final couple of corners. So we've temporarily got the jump on him. I think it actually does work to pit on the final lap here again, as we've got more yellows out. Don't know who's ran into problems there. We've got a couple of cars stopped. I think that's Iwasa and Valtteri Bottas. So could that be a safety car or cause of concern? I mean, it'd be beautifully timed for us.
Perfect job from you and the crew there, mate. We're delighted with that.
I think that's, yeah, sorry, Zhou Guanyu makes his way into the pit lane, so I think they've just got their wires crossed.
The white line on the exit will receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
Trying to get into the pit lane, but the most important thing is that we haven't had a red flag, which I'm happy about, and I've come out in the DRS of 2 cars. Alex Albon might have some front wing damage in that Williams. Yep, you can see that end plate has completely disappeared, so no idea what's happened to him. We'll go clean around the outside though. Not really sure why he's trying to fight me as much as he was there, but we don't get to say hello to Iwasa too often in Grand Prix. So I guess we get the opportunity to do so today there, as Verstappen and Fernando Alonso, 2 of the earlier pitters in this Grand Prix. Russell, it has worked out beautifully well for him so far. He's had that gap, and he hasn't relinquished it. Let's come on, we got to get a run on a Yumu. Tucked up in the slipstream. We don't want to cost him too much time either, as down the inside we'll go. And into P18 again. But are we going to undercut? Well, we've got a load of cars trying to make their way out of the pit lane then. I think we should stay ahead of quite a few important ones, but not Lewis Hamilton though, interestingly. Going to be side by side with him on the exit.
Car ahead now, running medium tyres.
And I'm going to be really, really cheeky there. We're just going to slow up before the DRS detection point. That way, whilst he's still trying to warm back up his tyres, we'll have the DRS to defend ourselves as we go down this straight. Probably won't make much difference by the end of the afternoon, but helpful.
Car ahead by 1.6 seconds.
Yeah, Verstappen, not convinced we're going to... This probably is going to be the closest I get to him. There we go, Hamilton again, though, down the outside. Don't know why he keeps making it so difficult for himself. Here comes Charles Leclerc, 3 wide again. So that Merc just has next to no straight line speed, though. He's got the confidence to go around the outside as everybody else peels into the pit lane. Got to be so careful of the AI locking up, especially when they go side by side through there. Iwasa in the pits. So we bottom out over that exit curve. But yeah, Russell has hung on to the lead quite comfortably. Verstappen is still going to be there with Sainz and Oscar Piastri. Oh, easy does it. Easy does it. Oh, Leclerc. Don't know if he wanted to have a look down the inside of Lewis, but he certainly compromised my line. I didn't want to make contact with him, but he just threw me off a little bit. And Hamilton now, we're fighting for P5. Well, 10 laps to go then. We seem to be hanging on a little bit better when we're all on the medium compound tyre, but I'm still just a bit sceptical that the pace is going to fall off towards the end of the afternoon. Russell, though, has completely thrown away his lead at the front of the field. In fact, Oscar Piastri now has moved to the top of the standings. It is still one Brit there trying to hold down the fort, as Hamilton trying to drag me a little bit closer. Gap seems to be coming down. Oh, we got yellows. That's Oscar Piastri. As soon as I mention him.
No overtaking through the yellow flags.
And Oscar Piastri from the lead of the British Grand Prix. Heartbreak for McLaren. He is out of it, and suddenly now Russell back to the front. Oh, I think Verstappen's locked up. And watch that delta. Russell, why on earth have Mercedes put him on hards? That is so stupid. As Verstappen now to the front of the field, but Hamilton is barely 2 seconds away. We can't get a run on Lewis. He's that fast. Even when I use the battery, we can't get close to him. But are we suddenly going to be in the fight for the win late on here at Silverstone? Oh, we're running out of battery. We are running out of battery. Here comes Charles Leclerc down the inside. And up will move the Ferrari man into P5 of this Grand Prix. We've still got one eye on that battle for the top 3 positions there as well. Slap the curb. That was not good. We're just desperately trying to hang on in there at the moment. But Leclerc and Hamilton relentless with their pace. We now got Norris and Perez tucked up behind me. Come on, we want to be in that fight. Oh, here we go. Leclerc out to the outside of Lewis Hamilton. This is what we need to see. No, that's not what we want to see. Leclerc just makes it clean through. So that Ferrari is looking very, very quick towards the end. As now Verstappen maybe sensing an opportunity to break away from Sainz and Russell. I mean, surely George is praying those hard tyres come back to him. But the mediums are going to be fine to the finish. Unless they're on my car, it seems. Oh, here we go. Hamilton again to the inside. I mean, this basically is starting to decide. Oh, there we go. Big contact as Hamilton gets the elbows out. This is basically deciding as to whether we're going to see a fight for the win or not with these two involved. So right up to the gravel trap on the exit. We're just having to use our battery so strategically. Here goes Leclerc. Where have we seen this before? Side by side at the old turn 1. Oh, Hamilton. He's not afraid to get the elbows out. Round the outside he'll go. And cleanly hangs on to that P4. But again, all this battling just helps us get closer. And again, Leclerc this time to the inside as Russell. Oh, there you go. Carlos Sainz now, sorry, has made it to the front of the field. We've got Verstappen and George Russell now side by side behind him. As Leclerc will get the second Ferrari up at a P4. I mean, there's so much going on at the moment. This is basically uncommentatable. But with 3 laps to go, I am absolutely loving it. Hamilton again to the outside as here comes Verstappen again on Carlos Sainz for the lead of the Grand Prix. We can't see what's going on between these two, but we can see what's going on. Oh, there's even more contact between Hamilton and Leclerc there. These two, I mean, they're meant to be teammates in 2025. Don't know whether we'll see that in this series or not, but they are not afraid to bang wheels. Oh, here we go. Again, Leclerc to the inside of Hamilton. I mean, this is just glorious for us because it's allowing us to get closer and closer as even more contact between them. But we're just trying to charge up the battery pack a little bit. Podium hopes are basically gone unless we see one of those top 3 make an error. But if we could snooker away P4, I would not knock it. Again, Hamilton, this time to the inside. Can't make it happen there. Is going to understeer off the exit of the corner. But he's still going to be in Leclerc's wheel tracks. Final lap then of the British Grand Prix, and Hamilton still desperately trying to hang on ahead of Charles Leclerc at the moment. We've saved up a little bit of battery, but I guess we need to work out where we can use it on this final lap there, is try and just make sure that we stay close to these two. Is Leclerc going to get another run down the Wellington Straight? This time round he thinks better of it as Verstappen leading the way at the front of the field. Russell, though, surely is going to be able to try and get a DRS run on him, and despite being put on a poor strategy with those harder compounded tyres, surely he's still going to get a run on Max Verstappen on this final lap of the Grand Prix. It is anybody's guess who is going to win this race. There have been battles up and down the field all afternoon as we try and stay closer to Leclerc and Hamilton. I just don't think we've got the speed late on in the day, but we'll see if we can try and get a slingshot run out onto the back straight. Big moment there as we almost tipped the car in the wall, but are we going to see Russell? A power move to the outside of Verstappen. George Russell's gone and done it for the lead of the Grand Prix. Leclerc will complete the move on the other Mercedes as well, but George Russell, he led so much early on in this race, but on the final lap, he has finally moved back to the front. We get a huge lock-up through the final corner. Sergio Perez, not a chance, sunshine. Very aggressive. It is P6 here at Silverstone.
Plenty of action then here in Silverstone, a memorable race and an impressive victory.
To do it as a team on home soil, that really means something special, and you can see how much it means to them, the drivers involved as well. Great job by them today, of course, as always, but for the fans watching on too, a great display of teamwork here today.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
George Russell then from 5th on the grid used the strategy today, and just on the very last lap of the Grand Prix, able to get the better of Max Verstappen for, I believe, his first win in this series there. The Dutchman comes through for P2 ahead of both Ferraris there, with Hamilton beating out myself. We were aggressive with Sergio Perez on that final corner, but I was not losing that place that we have fought so hard for there. Perez in 7th ahead of the sole remaining Aston Martin this afternoon. Lando Norris beats out Esteban Ocon as well, who claims the final point there. And Kevin Magnussen did really, really well early on, unfortunately unable to hang on to it later on in the day there. And you can see, yeah, Iwasa, Albon and Zhou Guanyu, don't know what happened to them, but they really just ended up near nobody by the second half of the race. And yeah, Piastri, Lance Stroll, the two drivers unable to see the checkered flag. That means, take a look at the Drivers' Championship. Russell now into P2 ahead of Leclerc. Carlos Sainz now ahead of Hamilton as well there, as we are 9 points back from the struggling Australian. We're picking up good solid points week in, week out at the moment. I am absolutely loving it inside this series there, and it's still just Hülkenberg and Iwasa who have yet to score points this season. Constructors-wise, Ferrari now 5 points behind Mercedes, who are just 50 behind Red Bull at the top of the table. So that could be a battle that rages on throughout a lot of this season. We move up, obviously, onto 63 points as well. 63, of course, the number of George Russell inside this series. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 1 returns ready at the Hungaroring.